Jacqueline Harris has a Master in Social Work from Fordham University. She is a producer and talk show host of I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. She is also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called I Have a Dream Too, Inc. I had to. Just ask me. Jacqueline is an entrepreneur, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, and visionary. She believes that all people can redefine their purpose, their place, and their possibilities through determination, persistence, and tenacity. Jacqueline has begun to crystallize her goals. Without difficulty, she continues to make plans daily to achieve all possibilities. With her supreme confidence, determination, and disregard for obstacles and other people's criticisms, she will carry out her plans. Why? I have a dream too. Jacqueline knows she can dream anything she wants to dream. That's the beauty of the human mind. Jacqueline can do anything she wants to do. That is the strength of the human will. Most importantly, Jacqueline trusts herself to test all limits. This will be Jacqueline's courage to succeed. Come join me on this journey of empowerment because you have a dream too.
Good evening and welcome to my show. I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You, and I am your host, Jacqueline Harris. And tonight we have a very special show again. I have a very special woman. Her name is Naima Chocolar, okay. I was hoping I wasn't going to mess that one up. Okay, but it's okay. And I met her a couple of months ago when I was very intrigued by her, what she had to offer, etc. So I brought her onto the show to be able to share her experience, her journey, her passions, and hopefully be able to empower someone else. So welcome, Naima. Okay, we're going to leave it at that, yes. All right? So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great. And so, as I said, when I met you a couple of months ago,
yes.
We talked about, you shared some things with me. The first thing you said to me was that you're a mother of 10 children.
Yes, I am.
And so, to me, that kind of stuck out because you just met me,
yes.
And that was something that you wanted to put out there.
Yes.
So, just talk about that a little bit because I think that has definitely changed your life,
yes,
to where you are today.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. I am a very proud, strong mother of 10 children. I have 5 girls and 5 boys. My oldest daughter just graduated from Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Science, a 4-year degree, and hopefully she will be planning to move on into medical school, so she's preparing for her MCATs. Mm-hmm. I think the reason why I throw having 10 children out is because this is the fuel. They fuel me. This is my reason. This gives me ambition to be able to conquer.
So, in essence, it really wasn't about I'm a single parent because you shared with me
yes.
that at the time you had 7 children,
yes.
but your husband had been deported at that time.
That is correct.
And so there you were to raise 7 children on your own.
Basically, yes.
And so, in talking about that, there was something inside of you that said that I needed to do something different.
Yes.
How do I redefine my purpose? What is going to be my place?
Yes.
So, just share a lot about your journey.
Okay. Basically, Basically, my journey started actually way before the issues with my husband, the deportation, being left with financial responsibilities and obligations, and not really defining who I was. As a small child, we came into Long Island, Central Islip, and my parents are, actually my grandmother is Egyptian from Africa. And basically, it was a much different environment, so we had a lot to do with color issues. I was dark-skinned, we happened to be Muslim. So I was
something that you also mentioned. I didn't
yes.
want to cut you off
no,
there.
It's okay.
But you mentioned that, and
yes.
I have heard you many times
yes.
mention that
yes.
I'm dark-skinned. And
yes.
so that something about that
yes.
has put a label on you.
That is correct.
Yes.
And, there's so many stories that I can tell you.
I know.
But when you're coming from an Eastern culture and you're emerged in a Western culture, I think it's a little bit different because now it's culture shock, right? And then not only do you get that type of behavior from people who look just like yourself, and there's many different shades of blackness.
Sure.
So you have people who look like me and darker, and also like yourself and fairer. So I think that really defines who you are. And also the vocabulary that's used in English to define what blackness is. And I remember my teacher telling me, oh, Naima, you shouldn't wear dark colors. You know, it's very negative, you know. And I said, no, black is my favorite color, you know. And she went to go say, she says, no, you will not find one single word in the dictionary that describes black as being positive. And I think that's when my eyes kind of opened up. And when I did search that Webster's dictionary, the only color, the only word describing blackness was being in the black, which meant being out of debt. I mean, since then, I think there's a couple other words that were added to the dictionary in the positive light.
So being out of debt.
Being out of debt.
Right, and I know that has taken you many places.
Yes.
Having found that
Yes.
in the dictionary, I think that helped you to be able to
Yes.
discover
Yes.
what your being is.
That's
It wasn't
correct.
so much about the color of your skin,
That's
but
right.
it was being out of debt
That is correct.
with 7 children.
Yes.
Okay, and a husband that was now in a different country.
That is correct.
And so what have you put together for
Okay.
yourself that has empowered not only you,
Yes.
but your children?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. And actually, I have to think for 2 minutes. Actually, what happened was is that I had given my power over to everybody, to everybody to make me happy. So it was my husband's responsibility to make sure I was fed, you know, which it is, but to an extent where I'm able to feed myself. And I didn't have that type of skill set. I didn't have that type of mentality. My job was only to go to school and make children, right? And that's something culturally, and that's something that was actually supported by the family in general. Once my ex-husband, now he's my ex-husband, now once he was deported, I didn't have the skill set, so there was no life insurance. There was no income coming in. There was no skill. There was nothing, you know, that I can utilize here to perpetuate myself and my children. And, you know, I was just kind of left out and about. And fortunately, I was referred to a company called Primerica Financial Services.
Primerica,
Yes.
very well-known company.
And I was recruited in, and I had just given birth to my 10th child. And my compliance officer, Kamika John, came out all the way from Valley Stream, and she sat down with me, and she talked about what the tool is of life insurance. She taught me about investments, and then she even said to me that you can go get a life insurance license and you can teach other women about these services. So that's when my journey began, and actually racking up on licenses, I call it. So
Okay.
now I have a life insurance license, health, and accidental. I did apply for my investment license, and I didn't pass my Series 6 and Series
Okay,
63.
okay.
However, there's always a second
There's
time.
always a second chance,
Correct.
right?
I also have a real estate license.
Okay.
But
Right.
I am an active real estate investor. So these are all the skill sets that I have learned throughout my journey. I also have taken the top notch of saying, listen, I would like to be like Donald Trump. You know, I have that possibility to become a multi-billionaire or even a multi-millionaire, and aligning myself and placing myself in environments where it's conducive for my growth. Now I am the role model for my children. So my children are not the excuse why I don't do what I'm supposed to do. It's the self-image that I
Right.
work on. So
Right.
I would like to be like Oprah Winfrey. I want to be like Susie Orman. I want to be like Donald Trump. I want to be like other women who are strong, and other men also who have taken themselves from one hardship
Right.
and defined that hardship and use that to motivate them and to propel them to the next level.
Right. So I know you're a great reader, and
Yes.
you've talked about many books that you have read to
Yes.
help you design this journey for yourself.
Yes.
One of those books is put out by who?
Oh, Jack Canfield.
Okay, Jack
Canfield.
right.
Yes. And he's one of my favorite people. He's not the favorite, but he's one of my favorites. Yes. And he has a book called The Success Principles. And the first principle he talks about is taking responsibility, 100% responsibility for your life.
Right.
And when that hit me, it was bang.
Right.
You know, because now I couldn't be a blamer. I couldn't blame him.
Anybody else, right?
That's right. I'm the one who set up the game. I'm the one who took took initiative to volunteer myself being a victim. And when I heard those words from Jack Canfield, and you have a writer who basically came out the same economic status that I came from, right? And there was no excuse.
Exactly.
We volunteer ourselves to become victims, by choosing not to finish up school, by choosing to give our power away, by choosing to stay in unhealthy relationships, by choosing not to go to college, choose to be recruited into somebody else's agenda.
Yes.
So
now you discovered that first step was taking
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
And really, this is why I felt it was so important for you to be on the show to share that.
Yes.
Because in order for someone to create those possibilities to dream,
Yes.
you first do have to take responsibility
Yes.
and begin to remove the labels. Like you said,
Yes.
it was perhaps you felt like a victim.
Yes.
Okay, you felt betrayed. You
Yes.
felt lost. You felt hopeless. All of those things.
Yes.
But by actually redesigning your journey, you
Yes.
discovered that you needed to first take responsibility for yourself.
Exactly. And not just that, give a different meaning.
Right.
I have a coach. I started to take responsibility by saying, listen, I can't do this alone. The design is too intricate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it is very, I needed help. So when I look at Tiger Woods, right, he has 7 coaches. 7 coaches, peak performers, that help him to be able to manipulate the ball at a certain angle and to calculate it so he can get the target just right, right? If I want to become a multi-billionaire, which I
Right.
will be,
Okay.
yes, I'm going
I'm
to give
coming
myself.
with you.
Yeah, oh, yes, we are. Within the next 6 to 10 years, that is the deadline for myself. Okay, we need to have coaches to be able to tell us what to do or how to do it. They step out. They take themselves outside of the box, right? Excuse me. And they say, okay, Naima, if you just tilt a little way, if you just hold your head up this way. So now I have coaches. I have a business and life coach, Calvin Chen, and he's actually through Tony Robbins. And I go to his seminars, specifically because Tony Robbins, a.k.a. Anthony Robbins, is a peak performer. So I'm now learning how to set up the game to win. I want to win at the game of life, and I deserve that.
Yeah. So in essence, you actually, as I put it,
Yes.
is that you kind of rescripted.
That's correct.
Okay, you rescripted.
Gave new meaning.
Yes, to give you value.
That's
that
right.
you're worth.
Yes.
Okay, and that you have dreams. Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. It's so funny that you say that, and just very quick.
Go.
My coach, Calvin Chen, he says, Naima, you have to give these experiences new meaning. He says, don't look at it as being a victim. So now I have a new self-image.
Right.
So once you put that new self-image out, it seems like the focus, wherever you focus at, that's where the body tends to follow. So now I have a new self-image. So I'm going to be like Susie Orman. I'm going to also have that loving spirit like Oprah Winfrey. And I'm going to be strong and motivated and driven to be like, Donald Trump.
Right.
You understand?
Right. So just before we go to a break, I
Yes.
want you to be able to tell our listening audience
Yes.
is the first step.
Okay.
What is that individual, that group of people, that community?
Yes.
What is it that you see as necessary
Okay.
to be able to remove labels,
Okay.
rescript, reshape, remold?
Okay.
So-
What I tell all my clients, friends, and family is, throw away the TV. You should have no television in the house. And basically what you should do is actually have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. And this is what I did. I had to see it as it was, that I was not victimized. I volunteered myself to be a victim. And that's the conversation you need to have with yourself. And then once you start having that conversation with yourself, then you can go on a healing process. So there's so many books out there like Louise Hayes, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Les Brown, John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar. And you can go right to YouTube. You don't have to pay for these services. You can go on to YouTube, put self-help books inside, and then you can start conditioning your mind, or actually reconditioning your mind to accept a different type of philosophy. and a way of thinking, because that's what it is. We have been conditioned through time, through eating habits, through behavioral habits, through television, instant gratification. There's so many things that we have been conditioned for many years, and this is a process. But once you become honest with yourself and then take the necessary, the massive action to get your goal or your desired result or outcome, then you can begin to move forward. And it's like magic.
Right.
Things start to just magically appear. So have the vision and then take the proper action, and then the purpose. What is the purpose? Why are you doing this? So that's the first step that you can take.
Okay, great. That was perfect.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Good evening and welcome back to the show. I'm here with Naima, and she was just sharing how she has been able to rescript her life, her journey to empower herself, her children, her community. And so, Naima, share about some of the projects now that you're working on.
Yes. As a real estate investor and also being a licensed realtor here in New York State, there's one project that I think that's really going to shift the way that homeowners and real estate professionals work. It's called theworsttenant.com.
Oh, okay. That already sounds.
And you know, because I had so many children, there was always one less income in the household. My first husband, Ismail, was an electrician for IBEW. So I always went to school and had children. But I also made sure that we had income coming in through rental income.
Rentals, okay.
So, and that's passive income. So basically with that, I have so many stories about.
We just need a little one right about now.
Okay, well, this one right here in particular happened in 2012. And this is actually in my private house in Islip. I had a tenant that I had found, and there was an issue between our children. It turned into a physical altercation where I was attacked by the tenant, husband and wife, over this issue. And basically, I had let my guard down. I didn't do my due diligence. And being a licensed realtor, you pull credit reports, you pull references. But we had met them by way of my husband. I am presently married, and met them through my husband. And my husband really handled the transaction. Excuse me. And so that right there had caused me, for 2 years, I had become very sour over the situation. But again, being coached through Tony Robbins, through Tony Robbins' services and having that life coach, he said, you have to give this a new meaning. And that's the power of coaching.
Okay.
So what is this experience telling you? And how can you help protect other homeowners and real estate professionals?
So you came up with the
Theworsttenant.com.
theworsttenantever.com. So what is that, a database?
That's exactly
Oh.
what it is. And
Okay.
actually, it's supposed to be coming out in 2015. We're looking between April or May.
So this database will allow homeowners
That's correct.
to go in and see if they are known to have
Yes.
not paid their rent
That's
or have some
correct.
sort of, you said, altercation.
That's correct.
Any kind of police background.
That is correct.
Okay,
yes.
so wow, that's
Yes.
really,
And these are
isn't
the
that
things-
controversial in a way? Because
Well, no, it's all public records.
True, that's
It is
true.
public records. And another thing, then we take the blame, right, off of homeowners. Now, homeowners don't have an excuse to be victimized. So now they can do their due diligence. Because again, like we were saying, it comes back again. We volunteer ourselves to be victims or put in situations where we then get kind of kicked in the butt.
right, we
you know.
become complacent.
So this
Yes.
tool,
We victimize.
that's right.
Right.
This tool is set up to help protect homeowners and also real estate professionals and to make sure that we can kick our economy and keep it moving.
Right. So that's a small business.
That
Okay.
is correct.
And then you have another project that you're working on.
That is correct. I actually have a book club.
a book club.
Yes, and one of the books that we're reading is Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. So we basically go throughout the book, we talk about each principle, and we give you, specific techniques on how to implement it in your life. So I love this book because, again, it's the groundwork, it's the framework.
Right.
And then also with Tony Robbins, he has a system called RPM, which we call it Results, Purpose, and Massive Action. So what results are you after? You have to define that result. What is the purpose? Why are you doing it? And what is the massive action plan you're taking to get your desired outcome?
Okay. And how often does the book club meet?
We meet, once a week. But now what we're doing is we're waiting for Barnes & Nobles here in Bayshore to be able to have a place for us.
Okay.
So once we get back into Bayshore location, then we'll be able to hold it again. So right now we're kind of suspended until we have a location to meet at to host our guests.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And then I also know that you do Young Living Oils.
Oh, that's correct.
Yes. Can't forget that.
Yes, that's right.
You had it all over me when I met you.
Shame on me. I'm just keeping the secrets, right? Part of healing is also having an environment that's safe. And the physical body is where you experience your life through. So you have a choice again. you can either make it your heaven, where your body's able to move with you and help complete goals and realize those outcomes, or you can make it a living hell, where you're sick, you have diabetes and high blood pressure. So it's your choice again.
Right.
And what do you want to volunteer yourself to be? You want to become a victor, or do you want to become a victim? And so there being therapeutic oils, Young Living's therapeutic oils are taken either internally, they're diffused among the house, and or you can rub them topical on the skin.
Or the bottom of your feet.
That's right.
Right,
That is correct.
Okay.
Which I use. I love my thieves oil, and this I have a coach for this one also.
Okay.
Right, because again, you want to perfect it. You want to become an expert at it. So again, you need that third eye to be able to help you and assist you to implement it in your life correctly, so you can get those desired results that you're looking for. And her name is Cynthia Shankman. And actually, she co-works with Dr. Laura in East Islip at the Chiropractic Center,
Okay.
where she teaches and hosts these workshops for people like myself to take empowerment, so we can stop waiting for medical doctors to tell us what we need to do to take care of us. Now we are becoming preventive.
Right.
We're setting ourselves
holistic.
up. That's right,
Yes.
holistic. So we want to make sure that the only time we see our medical doctor is just for a physical.
Right.
Oh, you're doing wrong. Pay, come back. You don't want to make it a business for medical doctors.
That's right.
Because that's what it is. Pharmaceuticals, doctors, and all types of people in between are making money off us being unhealthy. And then we are also becoming victimized.
Exactly.
We're victimizing ourselves. you
That's
know.
beautiful. So now, when people want to find you about the book club,
Yes.
the Young Living Oils,
Yes.
and also as a real estate investor,
Yes.
I know we spoke a little bit about
Yes.
someone who may be even in foreclosure
Yes.
or is looking for rental or sales,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Yes, my name is Naima Charkalad, and my number is 631-404-5911. And I'm also going to give you my email.
Sure.
Okay, so you guys got your pen out there, right? It's my first name, Naima, N as in Nancy, A-I-M as in Mary, A, and my last name, Charkalad, CAKIRLAR @gmail.com. And you're welcome just to write me an email. Let me know, how you felt about the show and some of the information. I'd love to give my recipes and techniques. I lost 22 pounds using the therapeutic oils, also alkalining the body.
Right.
There's so many resources, many resources out there. You just have to take responsibility and make it happen. And don't let the outside world make you happy.
Invade you.
That's
Yes,
right.
exactly.
You have, this is an inner, it comes from within. So
Right.
have the strength to make yourself happy.
So they can also find you on Facebook.
That is correct.
Okay.
Naima Chocolate on Facebook.
Chocolate.
Yes.
Okay.
And also theworsttenant.com.
TheWorstTenant.com is there also.
That's correct.
Right.
That is
Okay,
correct.
great,
That
great,
is
great.
correct.
What can you leave the audience with?
Yes. There is a wonderful quote by Jack Canfield. And he says, you can't pay people to do your push-ups for you. That's something you have to do yourself. So, and that is very, it's very, very powerful, right? Because there's certain things that we want in life.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a millionaire.
Right.
Everybody
You
wants.
got to do the work.
You gotta
You gotta
do the work.
Yes.
This instant gratification, and I think with the internet, the TV, all these things coming in, it seems like people have just became successful overnight.
Right.
They never tell you the back end to
Exactly.
it. They never tell you what Michael Jordan. He gets up at 2:30 in the morning. He practices for 8 hours. They don't tell you about Tiger Woods, who started at 3 or 4 years old to be able to position himself in this life
Right.
to become number
One.
one in the world. They don't talk about Donald
Right.
Trump or
That's
Les
excellent.
Brown or
Yes.
what hours they put in. So it appears to be instant, but there's a whole layer of work that goes with it.
Right.
So do your own push-ups, get your own beautiful body, and live life, live strong, and empower yourself, and then
Exactly.
pass it forward.
Wonderful. That's
Yes.
been perfect. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting
Thank
you, Jackie. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for coming on.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke, and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia, and it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters, and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Cira Graphics. That's info@ciragraphics.com.
Welcome back to my show, I Have a Dream Too. And I'm back with a new guest, Mr. Phil Andrews. He is the president of Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, he's a dynamic man, and he's allowing small businesses to have some visibility. So, as president of Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, what does that mean?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce is one of the most recognizable and oldest organizations in America. And the whole idea of the Chamber of Commerce is to stimulate business. It's like a vehicle. You know, if you wanted to go somewhere with your vehicle and get to a destination, the chamber is that vehicle to help businesses grow to get where they want to go. So it's really a great organization.
Okay. And so it not only just covers Long Island, but it covers Queens, all the boroughs, and the greater New York State, or is it just
Well,
the boroughs in Long Island?
but what we decided, the original definition of Long Island is all of Long Island, Queens, and Brooklyn. So we defined Long Island to mean the counties of Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, and Kings County. So we're actually like a regional chamber of commerce, and it creates a much stronger network.
Now, how did you become president of this Chamber of Commerce?
Well, prior to this position, I was the immediate past president of 100 Black Men of Long Island.
Yes.
And somehow, when my term was up, I maxed out on my term. They called me up and asked me to be president.
Okay.
But prior to that role, I also was the membership chairman of the Chamber of Commerce before I was president. And I've also got 2 small business awards from the Nassau Council Chambers of Commerce, Small Business Person of the Year. So I am familiar with how chambers operate.
Okay, all right. But for those listening audience that are not familiar with how the Chamber of Commerce operates, talk about that in a little bit more detail.
Well, generally, a Chamber of Commerce has monthly business meetings. They could be at a restaurant. They could be at a evening place. Like in particular this month, we have our event at the NYC Theater Westbury. We have a networking event, toy drive, and award ceremony. So we come together, we bring speakers, possibly in the area of sales, technical advice. We bring people sometimes from Hofstra University to help businesses with some things that they may not understand, like technical advice. It's like if you have 10 kids, when you have one, it's not the same thing.
Right.
So as your business begins to grow, sometimes you need that extra advice, like a coach. And we're not experts in everything. No business owner knows everything.
That's right.
So we got to get. That's what the
Other
chamber
people.
does too. It gives us. We all a master of something, but we can't be master of everything. But we need to know a little bit about it. But then we bring that network in. That's why you need your lawyer. You need your accountant. You may need some people that have vision and look at how you can make your plan every day, which you do daily. So we bring all of this technical advice because business is very complicated because
Yes.
it's a lot going on, right? And every day the economy changes, customers move, right? And a business owner got to stay on top of all of these type of things. So the Chamber of Commerce, well, we believe that technical advice, you need advice because sometimes business is also new to a lot of people too, right? So they may not have certain technical advice or they may like to focus in the area of their strengths.
Right.
And what about the areas that we can? So we provide the type of resources to the chamber to help strengthen businesses. And how about customers? If you belong to a growing organization, you can have a number of increased customers, right? Because you can tap right into the Chamber of Commerce.
Right. So someone who has a small business and they want to get involved in the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, what can they expect to receive?
Well, one of the things is they could expect to get promotion. We nominate our business members for spotlights. We put them up for prominent awards like LIBN. We just had two
What's LIBN?
Long Island Business News.
Okay.
We just had 2 lawyers in our first. This is on our first year, and 2 of our lawyers received the Leadership in Law Award.
Okay.
We got a around 50 influential women, LIBN. I'm a former around 50 around 50.
Okay.
Honoree by Long Island Business News. So what we believe that really we help each other when we come together, because we have compliments. And I always say that nobody is blessed with all of the callings. But when I exercise my calling and I help you, it helps you do your calling. So
Yes.
we need a team approach. And success is a team sport. So the Chamber of Commerce, we are big on technical advice and also connecting people. Sometimes maybe somebody have that other talent that you need. You might need a web designer, right?
Right.
You may need a graphic designer. We got all of these things in the chamber. You may need a coach. You ever thought about having a coach?
I need one.
So we got. I got some coaches in my
need
network.
one.
So some people could hold us accountable more than we could hold ourselves because, once again, different people possess different skills.
Correct. Correct. And so I know you talk about bridging the gap, small businesses with corporations, bridging that gap. What does that exactly mean?
Well, bridging the gap means oftentimes in local communities, in the African American community, we don't have a lot of corporations. So, and particularly, the corporations are joining the chamber very fast. So, a corporation might support a local nonprofit. You know, nonprofits are members of the chamber too. So now, if I got this corporation and I introduce them to one of my members that's got a 501c3, they may be a sponsor. They may participate. They may put an ad in their journal. They may buy tickets. They may participate in helping them strengthen their nonprofit cause.
Yes.
So the corporate is important. So we have different levels of membership. We have corporate members because some members are big. Some members, like we got some corporate big healthcare companies. We got banks coming because no matter how big a company is, it still needs to get to the local market.
Right.
And guess what? We're probably the best in the business of getting to a local community
And why do you say that?
because we know the community.
You know the community.
I mean,
Yes.
we know, I'm talking
the
about,
needs of African American
yes.
businesses. Yes.
and a lot of the corporations have called us a model of what it is for a nonprofit to work with a corporation. Because, I mean, we really know the community. I mean, like I said, I was working in the community for 25 years in leadership since I was 25 years old.
Right.
So that type of access, they need something. They asked me, I was able to give it to them right away. They was like, wow. Because like you said, that's hard to get when you have somebody has invested so much into the community. But we treat all of them good. The small business owner, there's going to be people that just startups, right? People just starting up, people that may be making $1 million, but guess what? They still need a network. They still need people to help them.
Right.
They still need access. So the Chamber of Commerce is that vehicle.
Okay. So it makes sense, really, that you don't have to be even a small business, and it doesn't have to be if you're not an African American business, but just to say you have a small business, can you still be a member?
Oh yes, we believe
Okay.
that diversity is a very
Absolutely.
important concept. And actually, we have a lot of different communities calling us because when you only work with yourself, you disempower yourself. And the other thing that we think about is that we are a market to do business with. If somebody does tax planning and they want to join the chamber and want to access our market, as long as they're giving quality service, we take all different type of ethnic groups as members of the chamber, because we got to work with we got to work with society, right? It's like a franchise. The ultimate goal of most businesses is to mainstream, right?
Exactly.
And we would like to mainstream too, but still remain. We're still going to maintain our identity, but we're going to work with every group there is.
Right.
Like one of the groups that we're currently working with is a Korean organization. They came to our last event and we developed a relationship. So we have to work with other groups because they can teach us something too.
Absolutely.
And they can learn something from us and we can
right.
learn something from them.
Right. Especially if they're putting it into the African American community, it would make sense to develop that relationship in order to be able to be successful.
And we want the members to grow.
Exactly.
We want the
Exactly.
membership numbers. We want because you're only as strong as your members.
Exactly.
So we're looking for growth, and we're really growing really well. We're getting a lot of groups coming in. The members are coming in. We have some Latinos coming in. We have some Indians coming to our events. And hey, we looking for friends that want to do business with us, and and they may help us in some ways too.
Right, and so being part of the Chamber of Commerce also helps to kind of mobilize the community and strengthen the community. But like you said, it also gives visibility to those small businesses that don't often get recognized.
That's true. And I think that one of the most important things is when you have a business organization and people say, "Where do I do business?" We are that organization.
Right.
If you want to do business with the African American community on Long Island, in Queens County, and Brooklyn, we can now identify an organization and say we want to do business. And people may come. I've had corporations talk to me from out of state already, talking about we're interested in that market, or they may have an office, or a national major corporation have an office. They're having a problem with recruiting employees in Roosevelt Field, and they called me from San Francisco, because they was in charge of that local market. But see how the power of having a business organization?
Right. Okay, good. So we'll be right back. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Phil Andrews.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com. Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com.
All new equipment, all new sets, exciting new shows for 2015, only on MadhouseTV.com. 2015 is coming, and so are exciting new shows on Madhouse TV. We're pouring more into what makes us so fun and different. All new sets, all new equipment, and more to enhance your viewing experience. It's a brand new year. Watch what happens on Madhouse TV.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Welcome back. I'm here with Phil Andrews, president of Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. So, Phil, if someone wants to become a member of the African American Chamber of Commerce, what is the membership? How does someone be able to become a member?
Well, one of the things they can do is simply email us at our corporate communications email, info@liaacc.com. And we have a fan page on Facebook, Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. You can Google us. There's tons of information. And we are looking for members to grow the network. So we could it's like having a directory. You know, when you want to get a particular product or service,
Right.
you can go inside that Chamber of Commerce to get that business.
What is a typical cost of a basic membership?
Well, generally it depends on the level of membership that you have. Like if you're a sole proprietor, it'd be like $100. If you're a nonprofit, $300. But we tell people, it's going to cost you more not to be a part of the chamber than it costs you to be a member, because when you're sitting outside of a substantial business network, it could help you more than it could hurt you. And we waste that in America on almost, I can't say we waste money on a regular basis, but it's an investment. It's you don't spend money when you
You'll get
put it
more
in a
in
way
return.
that you get it back
Now, I know you mentioned something about Governor Cuomo is doing some things now and recognizing the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, one of the things the governor, he's recently signed legislation that 30% of all state contracts are going to be awarded to minority companies. So we are in the forefront of helping prepare minority business to get certified and to begin to work with the different agencies like universities, government agencies and entities. And this is the highest level that a governor has set in the nation for the state dealing with minority businesses, 30%.
Right. So when you say certified, what does that really mean?
Well, certified means that they go through a process that the government is sure that they could do the business that they're doing. You know, 'cause a lot of people,
So kind of authenticate them.
yeah, you know, people could be doing business under the table.
There you go.
So we need to have criteria because the government, they may need to depend on, when you win that bid, they depend on that contract to be fulfilled. So they got to make sure that when you get that contract, you're certified.
Okay. So you have your own public relations company as well, and just want to share some information on that.
Oh, yes.
What that entails and.
Well, public relations is a very important concept for all businesses because it's all about raising your brand awareness. You know, what do people know you in the marketplace? What do they think about you? How respected is your brand? And you have to stay out there. You know, it's a lot of competition. It's a lot of noise out there. You see all the information on Facebook, but how do you get
Keep it
above that?
consistent and above.
But not only is your business a brand, but you are branding yourself.
That's right.
And so your business is an extension of you. So you have to try to keep your reputation. You have to do all the right things because people are always watching. And no matter how big or small a company is, even a large company is no such thing as being too known. Even the President of the United States got to manage his brand. Because if he don't come out enough, people go, "Where's the president?" So, so we have to be conscious of having the type of marketing materials, brochures, cards, how we speak, even how we dress. I mean, there's people that, hey, you never know when you got to run out to a business meeting if you ain't dressed properly, right?
That's right.
So these are all managed because one of the things they said is marketing is a total communication link to the public. Everything that you do and say says something about your business.
Correct.
And so you have to be conscious. That's why companies, what happens is things go on, something go wrong, what happened, and they think their brand is going to be messed up, they start disassociating themselves, right?
That's right, and of course.
So brand awareness and product awareness is very important. And public relations is the act of using different tools like news, because, you know, people don't really read the advertising. But believe me, they read the news. So you want to make sure that the news that, like, you celebrating your 600th show, you want to talk about that.
Right.
You have a particular guest on your show, right? Somebody's added on to your show. You know, you brought on another team member. So news is very important to keep people attuned to what you're doing in the area of public relations.
Right. So basically, the social network, which is huge now for marketing. And as I've said before, oftentimes you really don't have to meet anyone. You can do all of your social networking, your PR, all through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of these things, and get notoriety from that. Do you agree with that? Or
You can, but I often ask, what are people posting? You know, that's affecting their brand.
That's right.
Because even some of my business associates, I've had conversations with them about not posting particular things. Now, you have to manage your brand in those areas. Just because everybody else ain't managing their brand,
doesn't mean that you follow
that
suit.
don't mean that you do the same thing, that you comment on things or you say things that would make you not looked at in the best way. So even in social media is brand management because people are always watching.
That's right.
And your brand is always, you think that it's all social, but what somebody said it's always business.
So what are some things that are coming up now for the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce?
Well,
events?
one of the things that we have is our annual holiday party, awards, and celebration and toy drive. That's going to be December 10th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the NYC Theater Westbury. And we're bringing toys to give to Martin Luther King Center in Long Beach.
Oh,
And they were devastated by Sandy.
right.
And just recently, I was able to see some houses are very much still devastated. They didn't have no walls up and no floor. So we are excited about touching the Long Beach community with this year's holiday celebration.
Okay. I did forget to ask you, do you provide any coaching, okay, for PR? Do you do anything with that, since you talked about how important it is to brand your business? And I think that's the first step, is branding it, and everything else will come secondary. But do you provide any coaching in terms of how you get it done if people want to be involved in or contact you in terms of branding their business? Which
Oh,
is
yes, we do
important.
that. One of the things that we do is we try to get people to develop a campaign. You know, in the area of public relations, you know, it's like, well, if you was trying to win a war, it would be over a period of time, you know. So, and hopefully you develop a schedule saying, you know, every year, January, I might do a particular issue of my business. I might talk about women's issue in January. So there's some news around women's issue. February is, you know, Black History Month. March is Women's Month.
Right.
So you can tie into some national things that's going on in your area of public relations. And there may be some unique things also. You know, like you said, I told you a few minutes ago, the number of shows, the particular guests that you have on. You may want to announce the guests before they get here. You may announce the guests after they get here, talking about some of the things that they said in the press release.
Okay.
And how to get in contact with you. So it's an ongoing awareness, because people are not going to look at the same news every day.
Absolutely.
So you got to
Right.
kind of like
They
stimulate
don't want to
new
read
news.
the same thing every day. So it's
Yeah.
got to look different, but it's still catchy, and it still know that, hey, that's directed to or that's connected to that particular business. So we want to be able to kind of just capture everything in terms of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. If you have to just summarize it in a few seconds, few minutes, what would you say to people who want to be able to get involved, become part of the mobilization that is necessary in the community, and the visibility that's necessary for this small business?
Well, one of the things I say is, you know, I always, you know, I got to advocate joining the Chamber of Commerce. When you join, you automatically get all of the updates. You get all of the newsletters. You get special calls. You're invited to everything, because you got to be in it, right? You know, because usually when you're a member, they contact you and tell you everything what's going on.
Right.
So that's the point of entry, is to join the chamber. And some people sometimes may have a bar of money. Well, all of our events are not costed all the time. Sometimes if I get a free location, we don't charge. So join the chamber. Also get on the email list, right? If you want to get information, you need to join email list. Just like this show here, if somebody's on your email list, they can get updates, right? You can say, well, what's going on? Who's going to be on the show? But they got to subscribe, you know.
Right.
And hopefully over a period of time, they will be able to see, because our job is to give value to our members, and also to listen to our members. We want to hear some of the needs you have. We want to help you. We want to connect you with advertisers in your particular business, right? Don't that make
course.
sense?
Oh,
Because you're a
absolutely.
member. So
That's
when I
right.
give you an introduction, it's not
I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
it's not a cold. It's not a
Exactly.
cold. So you get a warm introduction. That means everything in the world.
Right.
So the
right.
chamber, but one of the things is join the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is known
Right.
all over the country. When people move into a neighborhood, the first place they call is the Chamber of Commerce.
Right. So they can find you on Facebook, Long Island Chamber of Commerce, and so forth. So I know this has been great, and
Okay.
definitely thank you
you.
for coming on
Thank
and
you.
sharing the information. I really appreciate that. And I like the fact that we need to make small businesses more visible and mobilize and so forth. And as we get ready to shut down, and every show, I always like to close it off with a quote, okay? And so mine for this evening is, don't be pushed by your problems, but led by your dreams. So there you go in terms of being able to empower, redefine your purpose, your place, your possibilities. And we are here every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. I Have a Dream Too, empowering you. And also, if you want to see the show after it has already been taped, you can go to madhousetv.com. So this has been a great evening, and all has been well. And I thank you for joining us this evening at I Have a Dream Too, empowering you.